Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chuck Jones. This is the Chuck Jones Music Channel. Today I'm just cutting in an intro and an outro for what I'm calling part 3 of my Pat Martino diminished parental form lessons. I started this series a couple of videos back where I just introduced the concept where you take a diminished 7 chord and you lower each note a half step, you get a dominant 7 chord, and you raise each note a half step, you get a minor 7 flat 5 chord. And on the second video in this installment, I basically took you through the dominant 7 chords you get and how to play them in inversions up the neck. And today I'm doing the same thing with the minor 7 flat 5 chords. So just a another quick lesson to wrap this kind of wrap this Pat Martino concept up. And yes, for all of you who pointed out to me that Barry Harris also delved into these concepts on the piano, I'm aware. I think that this concept actually goes back to the 1800s, mid-century, but in classical music. But at any rate, it's very fascinating on the guitar, and I just think it's something cool to know for the sake of knowing it. But I will do maybe one more video on this before I'm said and done, where I introduce you to some actual practical uses of this concept in your playing and in your improv. So anyway, I'm just going to dive right in here, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Now we're going to go through the minor 7 flat 5 chord, starting with the first 4-string cluster. That would be your G minor 7 flat 5, and then raise the G string, you have your C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Raise the B string, you have your E minor 7 flat 5. Raise the little E string, you have your B flat minor 7 flat 5. So. But going through all of those inversions for all of those chords, here we go. G minor 7 flat 5 with a flat 7 and a bass. Next one would be move that G string up and you have a C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Going through its inversions. So next one would be raising the B note up from the C sharp to the D for an E minor 7 flat 5. Then last but not least on this cluster, we raise the little E string up from a G to a flat for a B minor 7 flat 5. Here we go. Okay, now we go to the middle 4 strings. You get E minor 7 flat 5, you get B flat minor 7 flat 5 with a third and a bass, you get a C sharp minor 7 flat 5 with the tonic in the bass, and you get G minor 7 flat 5 with a flat 5 in the bass. So starting out there with our E minor 7 flat 5 with the flat 7 in the bass. There you go. Now the next one would be raise that D string up to a flat for a B flat minor 7 flat 5. There we go. That's your B flat minor 7 flat 5. Now the next one would be raising that G string up from a B flat to a B for a C sharp minor 7 flat 5 with the tonic in the bass. So I'm doing these a little fast. I apologize. I'll try to slow it down a little bit. So that was raising the G up. Now let's raise our B string up, that E to an F note, starting with a G minor 7 flat 5 with a flat 5 in the bass. So that's all four of our middle string cluster there. So now let's go to the bottom cluster. We have four different minor 7 flat 5 chords here. The first one becomes a flat 7 of a B minor 7 flat 5 chord. The second one would be E minor 7 flat 5 with the third and the bass. Third one would be G minor 7 flat 5 with a tonic in the bass. The fourth one will be C sharp minor 7 flat 5 with the flat 5 in the bass. Starting out with that B minor 7 flat 5 with the flat 7 in the bass. So the next one we're going to be starting with our E minor 7 flat 5 third in the bass, flat 5. So that's a E minor 7 flat 5. So the next one will be raising that E up to an F on the D string for a G minor 7 flat 5, starting out with a tonic in the bass. That was our G minor 7, so now we're going to raise that G string up from B flat to an A for a C sharp minor 7 flat 5 with the flat 5 in the bass. That's all for that fourth string cluster. Then we go to the first non-adjacent cluster on string 6, 4, 3, and 2. And we raise the E string up, and that gives us a B minor 7 flat 5 chord, right? So that's B minor 7 flat 5. Then we go G minor 7 flat 5, tonic in the bass. Then we go to the G string, raise that B flat up to a B, which is the flat 7 for C sharp minor 7 flat 5, fifth in the bass, flat 5 in the bass. Then the next one, we're going to raise up the B string, that C sharp to a D note, E minor 7 flat 5 again, with the third, flat third in the bass. Okay, that's all for that cluster. Now for our last string cluster, guys, we're going to raise that. This is strings 5, 3, 2, and 1. Also, these 4 minor 7 flat 5 chords we have here are E minor 7 flat 5, C sharp minor 7 flat 5, G minor 7 flat 5, and B flat minor 7 flat 5. So starting with our E minor 7 flat 5, flat 7 in the bass. Then we go to the G string, raise that B flat to a B, which is our 7th for a C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Then we go to the B string, raise the E up to an F, G minor 7 flat 5, flat 5 on the bass, starting out. Now, for the last one, guys, we're going to raise that E string, that G note, up to a G sharp for our flat 7 for a B flat minor 7 flat 5. Okay, with the third in the bass, once again, flat 3 in the bass. Well, there you have it, everyone. That's the end of the minor 7 flat 5 inversions, pursuant to the Pat Martino diminished parental concept forms for the guitar. So I will, as I said earlier, do one more video on this maybe and try to, show a couple of practical uses for this, other than just the fact that you're learning a very extensive vocabulary just up the neck with these inversions. There are some ways to put these, some of these concepts to use in your improv and your playing. So be on the lookout for that, and I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to subscribe and like if you haven't already, and go get those PDFs on my website for the chord diagrams. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you watching.